This is a handle worth $399. In addition to Beitong Zeus and non-intelligent ones, the domestic handles are not included. Octopus 2 doesn't seem to be more expensive than it. But if this price includes the receiver, and the joystick and action chip adopt a modular design, and if you come with a mobile phone holder, so is this price still exaggerated in your hearts? Hello everyone, I am the old squad leader. Prior to that, Thor has already released 4 controllers, and this time it was directly crossed. 60 came to 70, and the price soared to around 400. It is also a controller that supports multiple platforms of computer phones. It seems that this time the Thor G70 is obviously here to impact the high-end. So let's take a look at this today. Can the handle be called high-end? First of all, the appearance of this Thor G70 is in. The appearance continues the mecha that has been used before, Wind. Personally, I feel that there may be a bit of a well-known relationship with non-intelligence. Program. The traditional appearance is not evaluated, and the full score is 10 points. Dear students, please put your appearance score on the public screen. In terms of feel, because the Thor G70 also has an Spock's appearance, therefore the grip is still very good. Plus the treatment of anti-slip overglazing. Let it feel like a grip. The original technically better buttons. In terms of feel, the G70 uses micro buttons on the D-pad. However, the sharp keys became conductive glue again. The action button is a conductive glue plus micromotion solution. Maybe many students don't understand what conductive glue and micromotion mean. As the name suggests, it is conductive glue plus micromotion. Yes, the default action keys on the G70 are micromotion solutions. But it is designed as a modular solution. The package includes a set of conductive adhesive moving parts for players to replace. Strangely, the default micro buttons are not in use. The conductive rubber button that replaces the light emitted is a bit puzzling. To be reasonable, I personally feel that it should be replaced with a set of NS layouts. It might be a little more reasonable. Beyond that, there is the modularity of the joystick. When playing FPS games, players can change the height. Higher joysticks for more convenient control gives players a certain choice. Banijiji also adopted the design scheme of the Spock's Elite controller. 3 gears are provided for the player to build adjustment. It's just a personal feeling. Even if you drive to the lowest gear, this build is still not very low. Of course, something is better than nothing. This Thor G70 provides players with 4 expansion swords, 2 on the back. The other 2 are on the shoulder, and I have to say that the 2 expansion swords on the shoulder are surprisingly comfortable. The location is very reasonable. But the 2 on the back are for students who play with 4 values. There is still a certain risk of misunderstanding. In general, the Thor G70 is still good in terms of feel, especially the rich customization features. It can be said that, in addition to the Xbox Elite controller on the market, it's the most customizable. It is a boon for some students who play games with a variety of types. Of course, whether it is the feel or hardware customization, that's all based on the tuning at the controller software level. These two actually complement each other. So let's take a look at the software tuning of this controller. The first is functional, like those red burst gyroscopes and joysticks that have rotten streets, vibration adjustment and other functions. Naturally, the G70 is also supported. In addition, it also adds one-click wake-up NS and NFC, 2 more important functions on the NS side. At the same time, players can also swap buttons in the official app. The waist rod died, vibration strength, the trigger range and light are adjusted. But what I didn't expect was that this handle is unexpectedly good for mobile phone adaptation. All keys support key mapping on the mobile phone, because most controllers are mainly based on PC consoles. Support Android and iOS, which can be said to be just a free feature. Therefore, when encountering some games that do not support controller operation, it cannot be adapted. But if the handle itself supports the line as a map, it is different. The Thor G70 also comes with a controller stand for players. It seems to be telling players that all platforms have not given up. So this Thor G70 has multi-platform support. Can be said that it is very good. Next is the test of the joystick dying. Because the handle originally came with 4% death, players need to go to the app to adjust the death to 0. At this point we find the center point of the Thor G70 as well as 4. The direction of death is polished perfectly. But there are still some similarities in dying on the edge. The path of the joystick is not a pure archetype. This adjustment scheme can be said to be very similar to Xbox. Even the error rate is about the same. Both are about 11%. In general, this level of polishing is already very good. Finally, there is the disassembly link of Shiwen Legion. This time the dismantling is really a happy sword. If you look closely, this handle has no screw holes. so the screw hole should be hidden under the lagging. This has led to the difficulty of dismantling this time as a historical sin. It is even necessary to use it. As an electrician, it is normal for me to have pliers. After half an hour of hard work, finally wrapped it up. But what a fucking screw hole. There is no way, we can only take plan B. As I said earlier, my major is electrician. Therefore, it is normal for a long arm to have a hammer. So the cost of this video is huge. I don't need to say more about what you should do. Let's officially start. And what's going on? Damn, why does this handle still have a grip cover? Turns out that Roscon is actually here. In other words, I was like a fool just now. Although the Thor G70 is generally good on the outside. However, there is a lot of room for improvement in internal workmanship. First of all, a pouch battery like this is directly glued to the motherboard. The main and secondary boards also use this thickness in 1.2 mm and 1.1 mm thicknesses. For the handle in the process of use, or a joystick that is easy to deform, there are also pin angles that are not soldered. Of course, in addition to that, there are some things that are done well. First of all, the motor battery and other components all adopt the socket scheme, better than welding. Many flights also use Holt sensing, which has a higher accuracy and lifetime. At the same time, the joystick is also used Alpines. But in general, in terms of internal workmanship, the Thor G70 contains a lot of room for improvement. If you only look at the outside, we can clearly feel that Thor wants to be a player. Create a hardware custom attribute with super strong attributes. In terms of software, there are no shortcomings in the full platform handle. But it gave me the feeling that I had spent money on the back of a knife. Mobile phone holders and receivers, if players can choose by themselves, perhaps a better choice. If you can accept the shortcomings of internal workmanship and materials, so this handle is for players on all platforms. Still a good choice, especially the mapping function on the mobile phone. This is also something that many full platform controllers don't have. In addition, super hardwire customization. It can also make it a subordinate expectant of an elite handle.